Yoshi Tales. Today we are in South Carolina and we are staying at a ranch. Look around. And today we'll be interviewing ranch owner, Shanna.
Hi!
So, buckle up everybody. This is going to be an exciting Yoshi Tale. Alright everybody. We're just going to be asking questions and expand around the farm. Alright, first we'll start with some simple questions, then we'll move on. Hey Shanna, how do you get the horses to stay in the herds? Like, how do you get them to stay in the fence ranges? Like that?
Well, fortunately, the fences are 5.5 feet high, so most of the horses have to stay in. But we use the fences to separate the herds. We raise and train Arabians, quarter horses, and Mustangs. So in the pasture over behind you are two of my Arabians. The brown gentleman, his name is Timeless. He's actually a very well-known show horse. And he's a little bit older. He's 18, which is getting up there in years for a horse. But he's got plenty of energy. So rather than retiring, his owner found me so he could become a trail horse and ride with us. And then Amira, SS Sunrise Surprise is her full name, is out there as well. And they're up where I've just seeded that pasture, so that's a little bit newer, shorter grass. The horses out back are a mixture of our quarter horses and then a couple Appaloosas, some odds and ends that we've just acquired over time. Horses are like potato chips. I can't just have one. And then I have a pasture that's all Mustangs, the horses that we've adopted through the government, the wild Mustangs from out west that we're gentling and breaking and training.
Wow, that's really interesting. So what other animals do you have on this farm? Alright, she's going to answer the question about what other animals she has.
We also have chickens.
Ooh.
And our chickens are free range. They have a coop they can go in at night, but they have the run of the farm. They have 3 jobs. Number 1, they eat bugs and horse manure, so they keep the farm clean and break up the horse manure. Number 2, they lay eggs, and we do eat our eggs from our chickens. And number 3 is they're a wonderful conversation piece. They roam the farm. They eat bugs and flies and spiders and snakes and all the stuff I don't want to deal with. And then I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. And over the years farming, we had goats for a while. We had pygmy, the little, not babies, but the smaller goats. We did goat yoga on the farm. We had a pig at one time, a rescue. He fell off of a truck and animal control called and said, hey, can you take care of a pig? So a pig lived with us for a while. And I've always had animals. I mean, growing up, I had chinchillas and gerbils and anything that could be a pet, could be considered a pet. You know, when I was real little, I had an ant farm. That was what my parents thought I could handle.
Alrighty. Now tell me, what is goat yoga?
Goat yoga is when you put all the goats, the small ones, in a small area or a small building, and then the people who would be normally doing yoga go in and they do all their yoga movements with the goats playing. So for example, when they get down on their hands and knees in what they call the tabletop pose, the goats jump right up on their back and stand on them, or get right in their face and lick and kiss and play. So in reality, not that much yoga gets done. It's a lot more playing with goats than it is yoga. But people were just crazy about it. They do it all the time. And that was one of the first yogas with animals that came into vogue. Now there's puppy yoga and kitten yoga, and we've had people inquire if we could do horse yoga here. And horse yoga is different because you can do it with the horses running loose, or you can do yoga on horseback.
Okay, so now tell me, what breeds do you have of dogs and cats?
My dogs and cats are all rescues, so they're not pure-blooded anything. I know that my dogs are pit bull black lab mixes just by looking at them. I can guess that. The cats are just domestic, short-haired, run-of-the-mill cats. The older one, his name is Squirtle. He's he's 3. He's not old, but he's the older of the 2. I have a friend who really did dog rescue, but she had a cold and was taking cold medicine, and someone offered her a litter of kittens they didn't know what to do with, and she was not in her right mind and adopted some kittens and then called me and said, help, help. And so I adopted Squirtle. And then the little black and white cat, his name is George. His mommy was feral, a wild cat, where he was born, and the kittens weren't doing well, and he came to me as a little tiny baby. I had to hand raise him with some bottle feeding, and we call him George the Terrorist because he thinks he runs the joint. Every morning he brings me a bird or a squirrel or a rat or something that he thinks is a present. But they're just, just rescues. They're run-of-the-mill, just dogs and cats.
All right. Well, if it's okay with you, Shanna, how about we go explore the farm?
Absolutely. Come on.
Yay! Hello, everybody. Okay, so, we are now exploring the farm and following Shanna. There we go. So what are we gonna see first?
Well, this is my big pasture, and as you can see, we've had some excavation work done, so there's some bare spots. But this is the bulk of the horses, all of my riding horses. Amigo, Annie, Apache, Rosa, the little boy that doesn't really have a name
What's
yet.
this one?
This is Amira. She's one of the Arabians. And if you watch how she's looking out over the fence, she's been with me about 3 months, and she was with this herd. And she thinks that she's missing something because what she considers to be her family is all back here, and she doesn't know why she's up here with Timeless. But I moved her because I didn't know what else to do with her. And our Arabs are pretty together.
All right, well, should we go in?
We'll go in the other pasture with the Mustangs because it's prettier where the grass is growing.
Yeah,
But I bet we'll see some chickens on the way.
Yeah, chickens! Woohoo! All right, everybody, we're at the chickens. Chickens! Chickens. What do you have to say about the chickens, Shanna?
The chickens, like I said, their job that they have the run of the farm, and chickens are kind of little scrappy animals. They'll eat everything. So they break up horse manure, they eat bugs, flies, snakes, little mice. This wood pile over here, some of the hens have decided that's where they roost. So as it gets later in the evening and the sun starts to go down, there'll be chickens all sitting on all the wood pile. And then chickens are wandering around cleaning up the food that the horses dropped at dinner time.
Alright, so do you have a place where they lay eggs generally?
I do. I'll take you out and show you the chicken coop. It's a good thing it's video because it's better to look at than to smell. Chickens are a little bit stinky.
Oh,
When we moved in, all these buildings were here. So we kind of improvised and worked with what we had.
rooster.
That's one of our roosters. Oh, Betty, you got a string around your feet.
Going in.
Sorry, am I getting someone behind the door? No. You can see some of the chickens have hatched eggs, so we have babies, all sizes and a mixture of, they look like, some of the hens and some of the roosters. And I bet they need some fresh water.
All right. Are you going to
I'll have to get to that. And so you can see right here, they've laid some eggs.
Oh, and it's right next to like
That's one of the shelters that the horses can come in to get out of the sun or out of the rain.
Oh.
And there's some chickens getting ready to go night-night in there.
And then there's a
In
bunch
their little
of
nesting boxes.
I saw a few houses over that way. Can we go exploring them?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's go ahead and run around to see more chickens. And, oh my gosh, that's a cool chicken. Look at him. He's got like that wig. It's like he's trying to run. Look at him. Look at that hair. Where's the hair? Shannon, what do you have to say about that chicken right there?
That is a Polish chicken. Not to be a Polish joke, but the Polish chickens When they're born, they have a little pom-pom on their head when they hatch from their egg.
I was just about to ask about, like, what do the chicks look like?
They look just like all the chicks we just saw, but they literally have a little pom-pom on their head. And as they get older, it sprouts into long feathers on the top of their head. And sometimes, if it's real windy, they all lay down in front of their face and, like, literally they can't see. Like, they're shaking their head all the time and trying to get their hair out of their face.
Well, let's go. Okay, so what's the deal with back here?
This room is my tack room.
What's that?
Tack is all the stuff that you need to like to ride a horse and take care of a horse. Unfortunately, we don't have electricity out here right now. When they were working on the basement, they cut it.
All right, well, there's a saddle over there.
So I've got all my saddles and my bridles and brushes and saddle pads and halters and lead ropes. And it, you know, it stays dry and clean in here.
No electricity.
No, yeah, normally we can see what we're doing. Unfortunately, we're a little limited right now until Benjamin comes out and finishes putting the electricity back on.
All right.
I will make sure to tag him in this video so he understands.
Yeah, okay. Well, there was another thing over there. Oh, and is that the chicken net you were talking about?
It is. That is the net that I use to catch a chicken. It's a fishing net, but it's really effective.
Well,
so if I can't, because they aren't that
there's no
tame,
chicken.
if I need to catch them, I scoop them up with the net. And some of the hens do roost in here, and then if you look through that doorway where we store hay, they lay eggs all over the place in there.
Yeah, well, let's go see if there are any
You can have an
eggs.
Easter egg hunt on our farm every day.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I found one under this pile of pearls.
Exactly. I mean, they're just everywhere.
Yes, oh, watch out for rusty nails. Don't get tetanus, kids. All right, and
Corey needs to fix that.
there's some eggs right there.
Yep, this is where we store some of the smaller square bales of hay, and the chickens love to lay eggs in here.
So huge.
Yep. How tall do you think you have to be to get the hay up there?
Definitely much taller than me, because I'm like less than an inch.
Yep. It would take a whole lot of y'all standing on top of each other to get the hay up there.
All right, well, let's keep exploring.
All right.
Now we're entering the Mustang pen. Careful behind them. Ooh, this is let me just real quick. This is a lazy gate. Stops horses from coming through, but it's nice and easy to slip through. All right, let's slip through.
But fun fact,
Wow, we're so close.
the newborn horses can fit through the lazy man gates.
Oh, well.
So sometimes when in the morning when the baby's born, I'll get up and there'll be one in the backyard, and Mama's screaming because she can't find them.
That's understandable. Well, you got a lot of pretty Mustangs out there.
Well, thank you. These are the horses that were at one time running wild out west, and the government, the Bureau of Land Management rounds them up, and they have adoption clinics, and I adopt between 2 and 4 every year.
That's so cool. Any interesting Mustangs?
Oh gosh, yeah. This mare that right here she's a mommy. She's had a baby. And she was such a good mommy that she adopted all the other babies. She was nursing all of them.
Was it a baby?
No, actually, he's sold. He's gone now. But if you go on our Facebook page for Sun and Moon Ranch, he's the little black and white baby that we had for about a year. We kept him until he was a year old.
Nice.
And then this mare that's kind of the color of buttermilk with the black mane and tail.
Oh, that's so cool. Didn't see that
She's
before.
really far along in her training. She's had a saddle on and we put weight on her back. We'll be starting to ride her right away.
So
And she's actually turned out to be pretty friendly, pretty tame. Although she doesn't know what to make of Yoshi. She's like, what the heck is that? And then the other one, with the long black tail whose rear end is facing us, I've had her the longest of all the Mustangs that are still here, and yet she's still the wildest. She just doesn't want to be tame.
Yeah, but remember, kids, don't sneak up behind a horse.
Yep,
They'll
never
kick
walk
you.
up behind them, because they can't see you coming.
Then they'll go. Boom.
Yep.
All right, well, do you want to go now before you explore the Mustang? Oh,
Well, what else would you like to know about the farm, Yoshi?
well, I want to see the corduroy horses.
The quarter horses, okay. They're the ones out in the back pasture. I'll point them out to you.
Yeah, and then I heard there was one that looked like it had a war paint on it.
Yep, he's an Appaloosa, and all of his spots, or the bulk of his spots, are on his face. So he looks like an Indian war horse, like from the movie Spirit.
All right.
Like he's all painted up and ready to go into battle.
All right. Well, let's go. All right. Now we're going to talk about quarter horses. Woohoo! Let's go. Quarter horses. Woohoo. Hey, everybody, now we're going to talk about quarter horses. All right, let's go. All right. So tell us a little bit about quarter horses.
Quarter horses are one of the true American breeds. They were developed in this country to do the work of the cowboy, to move cows around and go out and check fences, and they're very fast, literally over 1/4 of a mile. That's how they got their name. They're almost unbeatable at 1/4 of a mile. Anything farther than that, they're not as fast.
You want to see how fast I am?
Yes, show me how fast you are. Oh my goodness!
Probably not fast.
Chickens are gonna scatter everywhere.
Chickens.
Oh my goodness, there they go.
So wait, I got a question, Shanna.
Uh-huh.
How do the chickens mingle with the horses without the horses, like, do they not bother each other? Do the horses not smash the chickens?
Well, they don't bother each other. When the horses are eating, if they drop food, the chickens get right underneath them and eat it. But the horses aren't careful. We occasionally have a chicken accident and somebody gets stepped on. It's not always terrible, like sometimes a wing will get stepped on and then this chicken will just start screaming and the horse will pick up their foot and move. The chickens don't really bother the horses at all, but they do, they cohabitate pretty well.
All right, so which ones are quarter horses?
So this pretty horse with the white face and kind of blonde hair, she's a quarter horse. Her name is Annie Oakley, and she is actually the mama of the red horse with the white face and the white legs. And then the yellow mare, her name is Phenomenally Obvious. She's a quarter horse. She's a registered quarter horse, so she's a little more. Annie is my favorite lesson horse. She loves the kids. But she's like, wait, who's that? I need to check that out.
Yeah, okay.
And then, so this is Annie's baby, and he's very photogenic and very friendly. He's going to go give your sister a kiss because he can. This is Amigo. Amigo's a boarder. He belongs to a little girl not much older than your sister.
Oh, wow.
And she rides him all over the place, all the time.
They don't know what to think of me. They're like, oh.
Nope, they've never seen a Yoshi before.
Hello.
That's a new one for them. Hello, Apache. Hello.
Now we're going to start with Appaloosas.
Okay. Appaloosas are another breed that technically is very American, or at least North American. The horses that had spots, the Indians, the Native Americans liked them very much. So they would breed for that that coloring. This little guy is a year old. He is technically an Appaloosa, but his spots are black.
He's got a short tail.
Yep, he's got a short tail because he's a baby still. More typically, an Appaloosa will look like Chief over here. His name is Chief Black Elk, which is paying homage to the Indians. And see how he has white spots on him? That's part of being an Appaloosa. But let's look at his face, because his face is so interesting. He looks like
about an Appaloosa, and aren't the white spots supposed to go on the buttocks?
They do normally go on the other end. You are quite right. There's color variation. Sometimes their whole body will be white and their spots will be a different color. But he's very unusual because his spots all ended up on the wrong end.
It does look like Indian warfare.
Yep, he looks like he's ready to go into battle. He says, well, hi, little girl. Hi, everybody. Is this my public? Am I going to be famous?
Yes,
You're going to be famous. And all the rest of them are like, wait, we're on film? Hold on, we want to be in the film. What happened?
Yeah, we're on film. All right. Well, is that all you have to say, Shanna?
I guess in terms of breeds and stuff, that's about as interesting as it gets. Oh, look at this. This little boy that's a year old is really infatuated with your sister. Look at that. He's letting her pet him. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he likes you.
Anything else you'd like to say about the farm before we go?
I hope everybody gets a chance to come visit. We love sharing the horses and the chickens with visitors.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you my name. It's Ellie.
Ellie,
All right,
okay.
everybody. That's it for the farm. Goodbye.